I grew up on a quiet, shady street in a Chicago suburb. I've always dreamt about recreating my childhood experiences in Minecraft. Welcome to Cedar Circle. This house here was abandoned. No one lived in this house, and their entire backyard was completely overgrown with tall grass. And when I say tall grass, it was probably 3 to 4 feet high. So you could, we used to basically hop the fence and then go back along here. And in fact, it was really weird because this needs to be all, nope, this wasn't all dirt, all coarse dirt. This would be coarse dirt in the ditch. There was a water pipe sticking out here, and it looked a little bit like this. Tall, unkept, like a slight amount of tall and unkept grass on the right. Okay, so on the left, it needs to be more like that, because along this side of the ditch were basically thorny rose bushes. They weren't this high though. They weren't 6 feet high, but they basically had a row of prickly thorn bushes. Now, I wonder if I can mix in, actually, can I put rosebush on coarse dirt? Yes. So let's do 2 rose bushes, and then a dead bush, and then a rose bush. So I'm going to vary this up a little bit. So cutting the corner would be a dead bush. We'll do two rose bushes, dead bush. Okay, let's take a look. So here's the memory trail. You hop the fence. Nobody's looking. Nobody's looking. You sneak back here, and you go down this secluded ditch. So you're penned in on both sides. This is like a mystery area, assuming this is wet or is not wet. And then right back here, you've got kind of a natural fort, another fort we had a lot of forts when we were kids. We didn't go back here too much. But then you could, right here, you could actually go, whoops. Now, if I were in my memory, this house was a slightly yellow, but pretty much the same shade as this. But I'm going to go ahead and make it this sandstone color. And I'm going to say that their house started here. I'm going to go 4. Whoops. Yeah, perfect. Perfect enough anyway. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4. Yeah, 3 and 4. That sounds good. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go with window, door, window, door, window. Oh, I love it. This is perfect. Now, this house, I don't remember there being a porch on it. I just remember this all being high grass. I just remember this all being high grass. And again, We could play hide and seek back here in the tall grass. We didn't like to do it because this house was abandoned, like no one lived there. I feel like I don't remember ever getting in trouble for playing in their yard, but I feel like our parents would have not wanted us to play in their yard. So anytime we would go back here, it would have to be a secret. And these windows were boarded up, but yeah. These windows are all boarded up. This starts with regular grass. And then as we make our trails through the high grass, we find some spots where we end up kind of crushing it down below our feet. And we end up with some spots of lower grass, or it just doesn't grow evenly. So there is some normal low grass mixed in. It's mostly high grass though. Now it's again not 6 feet high, but to a kid it might as well be double your height. And from the visual perspective, actually we just need enough high grass to make it look thick. We could have a lot of even in Minecraft the low grass looks pretty high, to be honest. So we can put the low grass like that, high grass. So from their yard you couldn't even see into this yard because these bushes were so thick. So we're gonna replace some of this here. And in fact, it was a pretty solid wall now that I'm thinking about it. Like that. You could kind of see in through here, so that looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to fill in some low grass. Nope, not plants. I mean, not flowers, though. Okay, so it's not actually... Can't put it there. Whoop. There we go. That's what I wanted you to do. Oh, and that's going to end up making some of it higher. Oh, interesting. Fill in the clumps. Looks pretty good, actually. You know what? I might as well just do this. I was thinking of using the bone meal to get into any cracks I couldn't. Oh yeah, that's definitely too high. Along the front row of the terrace, it's going to be the low grass. We have the back row of high grass so that it shades the dirt. Oh wow! I wish these rose bushes didn't have so many roses on them. Because they were thorn bushes, but well, they had like very tiny roses once in a while. They were absolutely thorn bushes and not rose. Well, I don't know. I think we used to call them the thorns. They were like thorny vines, really. I think there must have been a tree right here. It definitely wasn't an oak tree. Oh yeah, perfect. Oh, boopies. Okay, so I used spruce wood on the door. That means I should go ahead and use dark oak on the roof. And then I think we're done for this. We're done for now. Then we go up to whoops. So this is how I've basically made the roofs on other buildings. And then this one is like this. Whoops. And then what I usually do when I get to the corner, or when I get to the second layer, then I go back and do the front side, because we want it to come to a peak. All of our roofs were sloped to a peak so that the rain would wash down towards the front and back of the house. And then there were rain gutters around here, which is about a 3 to 4 inch metal aluminum gutter that would then wash the water down or across to the corners where there was a downspout with an outlet for the water. So it would essentially be making it so that the rain wouldn't be flowing down straight down off the roof into our windows and doors. Although with a lot of these trees in the neighborhoods, the downspouts would definitely get clogged up. Now I could make a peak. So the roofs did come to a peak. Yeah, I'll go ahead and make the peak. It's fine. And I think this house that I just put the roof on, oddly enough, the abandoned house, and there's usually a vent right here to let air flow through the attic. Oddly enough, this is the most perfect roof I've put on any of these houses so far. Most of these other roofs are completely crooked. And the tar, so there was tar paper shingles on top of these roofs. And so they were like squares of what they call tar paper, which is basically tar and gravel, like tiny bits of rock, sort of smushed together into sheets. They call them shingles. And those sheets, I think I'm going to end up doing too high on this one. Whoops. Kind of like their garage. Those sheets would then have a layer of rock on top where they would put different colored chips of rock. So my garage, their garage, and this house all had like little white chips and little light blue and cyan, like kind of bluish chips to them. My house had kind of like orange and brown, and like this house had like darker brown chips. So that's kind of what gave it the colors, but none of the colors were quite what. In fact, I would say this is what the tiles looked like, but they're not enough. Like I typically want to use stairs and slabs to show the angle, but there's not a block with enough blue in it for these three here. So I'm just using this, which is really not quite what I want to use. And it's not really going to matter because I've never been on this roof. So for the roofs I've never been on, which sounds funny, right? And it's surprisingly few, to be honest. It doesn't matter if they're so beautiful. Okay, there's a tree missing right here. Nice. That looks good. There's a tree there. There's actually a small tree, very few leaves, right here. And there is a bush here which is a little bit healthier than the dead bushes. Now I can remember the mom trying to get these back to life at one point. But I don't think they made it. I don't remember them ever flourishing. And then this was like, we'll go ahead and mix this in. I don't think these should be little ferns, but we'll go ahead and do that. Oh wow, that is it. The only thing I don't like here and here is that it's so flat. There's no striation. That looks great. That abandoned house. The hill is a little bit too... Oh, that's what I'm missing. That's what I'm missing. They had a clothesline up here, I think. Right here. And it went to here, I would say. Yeah, see, the reason that I know there was a tree here is because when you were on this part of the porch, there was shade. It was darker. This part of the porch was lit, not much shade. And then there was shade here among the cars. So actually, there's probably another tree. There's probably another big tree right here. And this one would have been really big. That's going to have to be big enough, though. But I think these two trees, the leaves were actually touching. I think. But that's okay. Close enough. Wow. All right. So, there we have my direct neighbor, the kitty corner abandoned house. At some point, I do need to make this house here because I have some stories about those folks. And then we need to make a couple houses down this way. So there we go. Continue to build out my neighborhood. I want to get... Oh, yeah, look at that. That looks so right. That is so right. So if we were standing here on the back porch... Check it out, Laura.